Hello everybody, I'm Tamal Dodge, this is Casey Newman. We're going to do another session of yoga for absolute beginners. We're going to start today's practice laying on our back. So have your legs extended out. Start with your palms glued on the floor. So we're doing a little internal rotation of the shoulder, the upper arm bone in the shoulder. You can let your feet flop out to the side for the moment. And use your hands to have that sensation, that feeling of grounding into the floor. As if your palms were roots and the rest of your body follows that kind of vibe, that feel. And as we anchor ourselves into the floor, we fill our body with a sense of presence, awareness, consciousness, being in the body. And the way we do that is encouraging deep inhales and exhales. This mindful style of breathing. Keep all that. Now turn your palms to face up, so we're externally rotating in the arms. When our palms face up, you're going to feel your collarbones, your sternum, the pectoralis muscles, the front of the shoulder, the anterior deltoid start to widen and open. You feel the scapulas rest into the floor, and maybe they start to glide down the back towards the sit bones. The legs are still heavy. The bottoms of the feet are soft. And this is a very picturesque version of Shavasana. It's like the quintessential position that we normally see. But we're not going to be here forever, even though we want to be. Let's reach your arms above your head. Interlace your fingers and flip your palms inside out. Now point through your toes. So instead of a dorsiflex, we're doing a plantar flex. Nice. And we start stretching from end to end as if there was a tug of war going on. Some were holding onto the ankles, some were holding onto the wrists and the hands. And then you're going to do the same kind of interlace, just with the opposite pinky, opposite thumb on top. So you untangle, then retangle. Yeah. Now, as we're paying more attention to detail, notice if your heels are close and your toes, or at least the big toes, are moving away, do the opposite. Get the big toes a little bit closer and the heels further away from each other so that you feel your inner thighs rolling down, and then maybe you can take your tailbone and scoop it towards your feet. Do a little bit of bracing. So as if I were to come over and stand on your belly, and how you'd firm everything up and kind of sandwich your low back into the floor. Let's try that here. Now keep this. Let's lift your legs an inch off the ground. Oh, this is not so restful anymore. Now lift your head and shoulder blades an inch off the ground. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. It's a little bit of core work. You're going to bend the right knee into your chest and hug it in with the arms. Relax the neck and the head for a moment. Beautiful. So, let's reach your arms straight up to the sky. Interlace the fingers except for the index fingers. Now, take your arms back over your head. Keep your legs how they are. Lift your head and shoulders. Float your left leg an inch, and let's breathe. And if your body is shaking like a cell phone on vibrate, right? Or you're on a plane that's got that turbulence, that's fine. That's what we're looking for. Switch your legs. And then hug the left shin into your chest. Relax the head towards the floor. Relax the right leg to the floor. Take a moment. You kind of know what's going to happen now. Keep what you have with your legs. Reach your arms up to the sky. Interlace the fingers again. Maybe an opposite grip, the awkward feeling grip, but you also still want the index fingers pointing up. Reach your arms over your head. Head and shoulders lift. Right leg lifts. A little bit of core work. We're stimulating the abdomen as it's part of the support system for your spine. It's not just the multifidus or rector spinae, but we're also working the transverse abdominis. Extend the left leg next to right. Reach your arms forward. Lay on your back, relax everything to the floor. Oh, yes. Let's hug both knees into the chest. Let's circle your knees in one direction, just so you're massaging the lower back. So today's practice, we're touching kind of on a myriad of things. It's like our little buffet of yoga. It's all you can eat. Circle your knees the other way. And in this buffet of yoga, we're doing a little core work, a little mobility work, a little leg work, some flexibility. Because what I'm trying to do is give you a sense of increasing our body awareness through a bunch of different movements and actions. Set your feet on the floor. Have your toes point forward or slightly inward. Now I want you to rest the pinky finger sides of your hands on the floor like you're karate chopping the outer edge of the hands, wrists, and forearms into the earth. Inhale, lift the hips. So in this bridge pose, it definitely is stretching the abdomen. It's a mild back bend per se. We want our tailbone scooping towards the space between our inner knees. The inner thighs rolled down. The chin separates a little bit from your chest, the sternum. So we're not crunching anywhere. Always looking for symmetry. Take a big inhale, lift a little more. Then exhale, come on down. Open your feet nice and wide. Take your arms out to the sides like cactus arms. Look to the right. Drop both knees to the left. So we're breathing into our left waist, breathing into the hips, because you'll feel those femur bones just moving around in the hip sockets. Switch sides, look to the left, drop both knees to the right. Bring your legs back to center, look up towards the sky. Let's bring your feet and hips width apart again. Plant the palms on the floor again. So this time, instead of karate chopping, it's that same action we did in our shavasana in the very beginning of our practice, where we do a little internal rotation of the arm. The palms glue, the hips lift. So think about your palms rooting into the floor. It's that same sensation we did earlier. Everything has its little reasons and connecting dots, right? We start scooping the tailbone forward, inner thighs roll down. This time, you can either stay here or you bend the right knee into your chest. Maybe you straighten the right leg towards the sky or maybe towards the front of the room. We breathe. It's going to activate your glute muscles a little bit. Your body's going to start to tremble to stabilize. Because, when things are new, they're new. We switch, right foot down, left knee in, maybe the left leg kicks the sky. When we first get on a bike as a child and they take the training wheels off, it's like, whoa, and eventually you're flowing, right? So every new pose is gonna feel a little bit like that. Set your left foot down. Inhale, lift the hips more. Exhale, bring them down. Open the feet wide, cactus your arms. Drop both knees to the left, look to the right, and then switch sides. And then switch sides. Nice and slow so that you get the neck rotation in there and you're creating this wonderful mobility in the cervical spine, not just in the low spine. Perfect. We come to center. Let's hug the knees into the chest. Let's rock up and down until you come to seated. Some of you may need to prop yourself with your hands. And let's come to all fours, your hands and knees. Some of you guys will have to shuffle to get there. Some of you will pop to get there. There's no hard and fast rules of how we get there as long as we find that position. So shoulders are over the wrists. Tops of the feet are gluing down. If you have sensitive knees, you can always put a towel, a bolster, or something underneath them just to add as cushion. We've been doing this a lot lately. We're going to play with the natural curves of the spine here. So first, you lift the head, then the chest. We dip the belly, then the tail lifts. Now it does the reversed order for the round. The tail goes, the belly goes, the upper spine rounds, and then the chin tucks. Inhale, head lifts, chest, belly, tail. Exhale, tail, belly, upper back, and then head. On your own, just like that. So the natural curves in the spine are the signals for the rest of the spine's actions. Try to keep your arms straight and strong as you're going through these movements. Perfect. So we come to a flat neutral back. This next one's a core exercise, but it's also a stability exercise. Let's extend your right leg behind you. So we dorsiflex the right foot. That means the right toes are pointing straight towards the ground and not back. Then you take the right inner thigh and spin it to the sky. Most people want to externally rotate here, so Casey, turn your right toes out. And then the hip hikes up. We don't want that. We want the right hip rolled down and the right inner thigh working towards the sky. Now reach your left arm forward in a handshake fashion. Perfect. Front ribs go in. Yes. Neck gets long. Face gets soft. Few breaths. Take a big inhale. Then exhale, set it all down. We switch sides. Left leg goes back, pause, dorsiflex the left foot, spin the left inner thigh to the sky. Reach the right arm forward in a handshake fashion, find length. Perfect. There's this tendency to lift your head up, so Casey, lift your head up, and you want to look forward, but that's just creating this unnecessary crunch in the cervical spine, which then makes us dump into our lumbar. So the back of the neck starts to grow towards the front of your space. Take a big inhale, then exhale, set it all down. Tuck your toes. Let's lift your knees, downward facing dog. Since we're touching upon a whole bunch of stuff, like I said before, we're going to get into the legs a little. Let's lift your right leg up. Let's bend the right knee and open up your hip. So we're going to stack the right hip on top of the left, but what happens here is most of us want to dump our body weight into the left hand and the left foot, and we end up turning our chest to the sky. So I want you to lift your left armpit more, get heavier in your right palm, and then take that right tricep and wrap it down and around so the torso stays square to the floor, and we're isolating the opening to the lower body. Come up high in the left toes. Let's lunge the right foot between the hands. Stay on the ball of your back foot, and let's come up to crescent pose, reach to the sky. So if you feel wobbly and off balance, like you're on a tightrope, you can always walk your right foot a little more to the right to help stagger it off. So walk that right foot to the right a little bit. Perfect. When you widen the stance, it gives us a better base, gives us a stronger foundation. We soften the left leg. The tailbone is going to go under, so not in the lower back. Then once the tail goes under, the frontal hip points will lift. The front ribs go in. The back ribs lift up. The shoulders soften, the arms get straighter. The upper outer arms wrap forward because most people want to have their knuckles face each other. Try that, Casey. And you internally rotate too much, so I want you to either have the palms face each other or the palms face back. Let the legs cook. You guys will either love this next one or not love this one, but we're stimulating the legs, so I want you to take your hands to your hip bones. Bend your left leg another 4 inches. Now straighten the left leg out. Bend the left leg, straighten the left leg. 3 more. Bending, straightening, bending, straightening. Let's just do 1 more. Bend it, straighten, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Let's step back to down dog. So we're skipping any kind of cobra or back bend there, not taking any vinyasas. Let's lift the left leg up. Let's bend the knee, open up the hip. Notice what the chest is doing. Think about lifting the right armpit more. Wrapping the left tricep down, getting heavier in that left palm. Now come up high in the right toes. Lunge the left foot between the hands. Stay on the ball of the back foot. Rise, crescent pose. Again, we're going to stagger the feet a little bit. So you walk your left foot if you need to the left. We soften the back leg. Press the left calf towards the left shin so the knee rests at 90 degrees. It's very common to either not be deep enough, so you're like this, or to be too deep. Yes, and you're beyond 90. So you just want the knee directly over the ankle. As the tail goes under, the front ribs go in, the back ribs lift up, the arms get straighter and closer together because there's this tendency to have your arms out like a T. We want the biceps about 1.5 inches, 2 inches away from the cheekbones. Hands come to the hips. The fun part. Bend the right leg some more. Straighten the right leg. Bend it. Straighten it. 3 more. Bending. Straightening. Bend it. Straighten it. Again, bend it. Straighten it. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Step back to down dog. Let's take a big inhale through the nose. Hold your breath at the top. Out of the mouth. Let's lower the knees to the floor. Let's sit on your heels. You can rest your forehead to the earth for child's pose. Oh, child's pose. So if you feel like child's pose is too much on your knees, maybe you have sensitive knees or knee injuries, you can always take a bolster, or if you don't have a bolster, a rolled up towel, and you can lift your butt up and place the bolster or towel between the hamstrings and calf muscles. That helps alleviate any excess strain. If you just have sensitive kneecaps, then you just put the bolster underneath the kneecaps as another alternative. And we breathe. Fill the pose with the inhales and the exhales. You are more than welcome to come out of your child's pose and lay on your back for a Shavasana if you like. Other than that, I'm Tamal. This was another session of yoga for absolute beginners. I'll see you guys again soon. Namaste.